What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Keelan, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my spoiler-free review of Barbarian. Now, before I get into that, I just want to say, if you have no knowledge of this film, if you've never seen the trailer, keep it that way. Go in with as little as information as possible. That's what I did. I went to the theater about a week and a half ago to go see Bodies, 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 and on my way out, I saw the poster on the side of the wall for Barbarian. Never heard about it, never seen anything about it, and I decided to look up the trailer. And halfway through the trailer, I shut it off, saw enough, it piqued my interest, and I put it on my list, bought my tickets, and I went ahead and I saw it last night. Needless to say, it was a great theater experience. I love the film, and we're gonna get into that more in depth here in a second, but I just wanted to say to everybody, go in blind. Don't spoil anything for yourself. Don't let anybody spoil anything for you. Go watch the film for what it is and see what happens. You're going to experience this film the best if you go and do it that way. All that aside, let's go ahead and get to the synopsis of the film. In town for a job interview, a young woman arrives at her Airbnb late at night, only to find that her rental has been mistakenly double booked and a strange man is already staying there. Against her better judgment, she decides to stay the night anyway, but soon discovers that there is much more to be afraid of in the house than the other house guest. Alright, so Barbarian is the type of film that I had to keep reminding myself to breathe. From the very first establishing shot of the film, you're thrown into this dismal and ghastly story that just continues to unfold. And as soon as you think that you have the movie figured out or you know what's going to happen next, the train completely flies off of the tracks and just goes deeper into the darkness. And this is writer and director Zach Krieger's horror debut. And all I can really say about that is, where have you been, Zach? And why didn't you arrive sooner? From the juggling tones to the immersive cinematography and the sometimes paralyzing sound design, this film was handled with massive amounts of TLC, and it really shows. And the characters presented to us in this film, while at times make some disagreeable decisions, for the most part are cleverly written and are pretty personable characters. You know, I liked all of them. You know, there wasn't anybody that made me cringe or roll my eyes at every time they came on screen. Like, the cast was pretty great. We get Tess, played by Georgina Campbell, as our female lead and final girl. She's just one of those characters that sucks you in, and no matter what she says or does, you always kind of end up rooting for her. You know, she has a dynamic personality, and the presence that Georgina brings to the character on screen is really something to be appreciated. And although Tess does make a couple idiotic decisions throughout the film, that didn't really affect my overall opinion of her character. And I feel like that's simply just because they added minor details through simple dialogue that kind of built these corners of her character. And I feel like that kind of played in her decision making. So for me, it made sense. Maybe that's just me justifying it because I really wanted to like her character and I didn't want to have anything bad to say, but I can get past stuff like that. I felt like they wrote it in that way and it made sense that way. I don't know if other people see it that way, but the details in the dialogue and just the way they built her character up, I feel like it makes sense for why she ended up making the choices that she did. And that's all I'll say about that. And then we have Keith, played by the one and only Bill Skarsgård. And there's just something about Bill Skarsgård. He's got like this weird awkwardness to him. I mean, he's a great actor, but he's just, I don't know, he's got this like uncomfortability to him that he plays really well. I feel like they use that well when he played Pennywise in the It remakes. Just very like kind of eerie vibe to him, kind of awkward. And you kind of get some of that from Keith as well in this film. Keith is one of those people that you can't really tell if you can trust or not, but he kind of wins you over with this awkward charm that he has. Everything is just kind of very awkward, neurotic almost, but I still liked his character. I appreciated his character, and I also like the dynamic between him and Tess and how that kind of unfolds as the story progresses on. I think Bill Skarsgård did a fantastic job. And last but certainly not least, we get AJ, played by Justin Long. Jeepers Creepers is one of my all-time favorite films. It's one of the first films that I watched when I was a kid, and it's always stayed with me. I also like Tusk, but as soon as I saw Justin Long was starring in Barbarian, that was just another additive for me. I was like, okay, I definitely need to see this now. I feel like Justin Long always does a great job. He's definitely a scream king, and I don't want to get too much in depth about this character because he is a pretty important character, and I just kind of want to leave you with as little information about him as possible. But I will say that Justin Long killed his part in this film, and he definitely shines through, and for me, he was probably the best part about the film, and I'll just leave that at that. Just to note as well, there's also a couple other actors in this film, and they all do phenomenal jobs. I just don't want to expose anything about the story or talk about any other actor that might give out any other information to you guys. I just want to leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything. Another thing about Barbarian that I really appreciated was the pacing and the structure. Nothing really drags on, and as soon as you start to feel like, okay, maybe it's gonna start dragging here, they switch it up on you. The way they structured it out, it's a very refreshing way to watch the film. I'll be honest, I'm guilty of dozing off at the theaters all the time. It's a really bad habit that I have, but I was wide-eyed the entire time watching this film. Nothing bored me. Nothing took me out of it. I was in it from start to finish. Another important thing to note is the ability this movie has to make you second guess your vision. The use of darkness to create a sense of paranoia and uncertainty kind of makes you guess, like, am I seeing something? Am I not seeing something? And sometimes you are, and sometimes you're not, but you're telling yourself you are. And then like they play around with that sort of concept a lot, like where you think you see something, there's gonna be a jump scare, but then it's not there, but then they utilize that moment to make the jump scare more effective and just build that atmosphere of being in the dark and all this stuff. They utilize that really well. It builds the story forward, and it just engulfs you further and further into the atmosphere of this film. And also that uncertainty is another big reason why I was able to stay engaged for so long, because it was gripping my feelings. Like, it really made me feel something, made me really feel uneasy. I wanted to know what was happening, what was around that corner. Am I seeing what I think I see? Is there this? Is there that? Just everything. Like, it really keeps you guessing. It really keeps you in the film, and that's something I appreciate too, because I hate being taken out of movies when I watch them. And also, they did a great job balancing the tones between comedy to scary to downright jarring and unnerving. The comedy was written really well. I laughed quite a few times. You know, I watched it in a theater. The audience laughed a lot. It was just a good time. The comedy fit really well, but it didn't take you out of the film. And the way that they used kind of like sound to swap from tone to tone, from scene to scene. If it was something funny, but it was going to go into something scary, or it was something scary happening and then they swapped it to something funny. The sound design helped guide you through that, and it kept you in. You know, the scary parts were really well done. They really, like I said, they give you these feelings of unease, create a sense of paranoia. But then there's other parts where you're just like, what the fuck? It is jarring. It's unnerving. You know, I'm sure there's some people that have to look away. I'm so desensitized at this point that this type of stuff doesn't really bother me. I'm more just like, holy crap, that's crazy. Like, this movie is really refreshing. It was really well done. And also, I just thought about this too. I didn't even realize this movie was R-rated going into it. I thought I was going into a PG-13, and then I walk into the door and they're like, ID please. And I had to get ID for it, and that just was another additive to the experience too. I'm glad they went with the R rating. It was perfect for the film. And I think if they would have done PG-13, the film wouldn't have been as effective. It wouldn't have brought you on that, you know, sort of emotional roller coaster. It wouldn't have been, well, they would have, but it wouldn't have been as intense, you know. I'm glad that it had the R rating. It was just funny that I didn't realize it was R until I was already at the theater, but whatever. And aside from the aforementioned, you know, poor decision making, I don't really think there's much I can say about this film that's bad. Not that I want to come on this platform and shit on movies either. If there's a movie that I downright just don't like, I'll try to find the positives in anything, so that way it's at least balanced in a constructive review. I don't want to be too biased or just like destroy and crap on somebody's work. But there's really not a whole lot bad to say about this film. I really had a great time. It was fun. It was scary. It was funny. My theater experience was great. I think that was the first time I'd really been in a packed theater in quite a while. Everybody was having a good time, was, you know, screaming at parts, laughing at parts. As far as the rating goes for Barbarian, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10 slashes for its well thought out story, its great cast and characters, and its ability to make you want to cry in your mother's arms. Alright, and that'll be all for this video, guys. Thank you so much again for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like and subscribe and ring the notification bell so that way you guys can get my notifications for when I post. Let me know down in the comment section below if you guys are gonna go see Barbarian, and if you have, you know, without spoiling anything, what are your thoughts about it? And also, what other movies would you guys like me to review? I'm gonna be going back to older movies and reviewing those, as well as checking out and reviewing some of the newer movies that are coming out in theaters. I've got a whole list. I've got like 4 other movie tickets bought out for the next 2 months. or a month or something like that. Definitely gonna check those out and try to get reviews out for you guys as soon as I can, just like this one. Just to let you guys know, I'll also be doing like reaction videos to movies with my sister. We already have some of those filmed, and I think those are a lot of fun too. I just want to do horror content. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing news. I think I'm just gonna start with reviews and stuff, but whatever the case may be, you guys let me know what you want to see from me in the comments below, and I will read them and I will respond. And with that all said and done, I bid you a farewell and a goodbye.